Welcome to State of Africa with Mini Vita Pire. I am sitting here with Dr. Jutta Lenz and Bulelwa and Magqo. These two ladies here have just, they know each other already, but they've gotten to understand each other's cultures, and they're trying to do something that we have never seen before. So I'm going to speak to Dr. Jutta Lenz. Well, she's a doctor. So, okay, what are your qualifications? Maybe we can start.
Okay, I'll make it short. I'm a psychologist, and I also studied educational science and sports science. But I ended up for the last 34 years, and I was working in corporates and also for the German government, and my main subject was leadership and change management. That means to help people with changes in organizations, but also going through a process of change themselves. So that is.
All right, and Bulelwa, I'm looking at you right now. I'm thinking, wow, which village is she coming from? But obviously, you don't live in a village. You're a very educated, modern woman. So tell me about what you do in your day-to-day life when you're not wearing this attire.
Okay. When I'm not wearing this attire, I'm working for Old Mutual.
Wow.
As a process analyst. I look after the product, the end processes of a certain product called Green Light at Old Mutual.
Wow.
I'm also the national chairperson of the trade union called SASPO.
Wow, wow. Okay, so you went to school, you have an education, and yet you are dressed in your traditional African attire. So where I come from, or rather where we come from as a society, is when we see someone like you, we automatically think, okay, she's uneducated, she's trying to make some money. We don't understand, because growing up we have been told that our African traditional religion is not really pure. It's not something that we follow. We've been Christians all our lives. So tell me a bit about the journey that you're going through right now. As a modern woman with qualifications, you drive, you live in a beautiful house. So how are you doing this?
I'm trying to find a balance between my work life and my traditional calling. So during the course of the day, I will do work. When I get home, I will do my meditation. I will connect with ancestors. I will do like rituals. And before I go to work, also in the morning, like 5 o'clock, I will wake up. I will burn the herb called in purple. Because what it does to me, it kind of calm me down for the whole day.
Is it like incense?
Yes, it's like incense. I do have it in my bed. So I do that. I'm asking for the guidance. You know, it's like connecting with the universe, basically.
Okay.
Asking for guidance, and so that during the day I'm also calm, and you know. So when I get to work, I do my normal work, and then when I leave work, when I'm at home, I do my.
Okay. Have you always been like this, or when did this journey start?
Okay. The journey started in 2010.
Okay.
We started in 2010.
Is it something that you've always wanted to do, or you were chosen? How did you?
No, I was chosen. It's something that I never like to do, because I always thought that it is done by people that are illiterate, people that really want to make money, not from other people. So I never embrace it until I discover that I've got a calling.
Yeah, society has a way of looking down upon people that are still practicing our African traditional religion. Because where I come from as well, it's not something that you do during the day.
Mm.
You might believe in it, but you don't tell people around you that I'm going to see a sangoma because they will judge you.
Yes.
So Jutta, this is for you. How did you get to know Puli?
We met together. We started meditating through a friend. So we met there, and I don't know, I can't tell you, somehow we hooked, we connected. Yeah, it just happened because she's such a lively and open person.
Yes.
And for me it was a very important step also to get, as a white person, as you can see, to get in connection with the African culture. I come out to Africa for 25 years, but I never was so close to the African culture, and that was quite interesting for me because Buli opened me a lot of things in that culture, and that was, for me, was amazing because normally as a white person, a person from Europe especially, has not the possibility. So that was fantastic. Yeah.
What was your first impression when she told you that, okay, this is who I am, this is what I do?
Yeah. I actually have no problem with this because I was very lucky in my life. Even I thought like, Buli, this is not for me, and I'm not a spiritual person. You know, I have many different academic degrees. I said, "Ah, that's not for me." And but funny thing is, since I was a child, I always met people who were very spiritual, and even for my own family. It's in that line. My mother, she had always, and my grandmother. So, yeah, I was open to it. I had no problems. Maybe less problems than some people here in Africa with these old traditions. And I was talking before to a lot of people who also had good experiences. So what was so strange for me, I was very interested. I'm curious, so I want to learn more. And I also, if I may, I would like to accompany her to the Eastern Cape and see how that works. I think that's very interesting.
Are you a sangoma yet?
I'm not a sangoma yet. I'm in a journey.
Oh, you're still.
Yes, I'm still
You're
in a
still a
journey.
student.
I would call myself a student because the sangoma journey, it's not like a qualification. It becomes a way of life for you because you are there to heal people. You are there to seek guidance when people in your family are going through, challenges.
Yes.
You represent. You are like a sacrifice.
You have to help
Yes.
people.
Yes.
Have you given her a reading yet?
Yes, I did.
She did.
Can I get a reading?
She did. Yeah, no, she did. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, but people can actually come for consultation.
Yes, they can
Yeah,
come
she's
for
very good.
consultation.
I know it.
Okay. Wasn't it weird for you to get a reading from her?
Not at all. Yes, because I said you see, I'm also I went to India and did a yoga teacher's education just why I was curious, and I went through a lot of things in India. So I got introduced to a lot of spiritual stuff there. So it was not strange for me, absolutely not. As I said, I think we should be open-minded people. And today the African healing and medicine and the Western psychology and Eastern is coming together more and more. So it becomes more and more interesting. You have more and more conferences also in Europe where they get people in like sangomas, people who have a different knowledge.
Okay. Welcome back to State of Africa with Minili Tapire. I'm still sitting here with Jutta and Bulelwa, where we're talking about our African traditional religion and our modern culture. So, Jutta, I'm going to start with you. As a European, you come here, you obviously get to know her. What do you think we are doing as Black people in embracing our culture? Or, well, do you think we are shying away from it because we don't talk about it a lot?
Yeah, it's quite an interesting question. You know, I'm coming out for 25 years here, and I noticed the change in the country, and a lot of things happening and take over a lot of the Western culture. It reminds me very much of Germany after the war, who took over a lot of stuff from the United States. And the first time when I noticed that maybe the Africans should more aware of what they have got in the resources in this beautiful country with a lot of knowledge, was when the new airport in Cape Town was built. And in former days you saw all these statues of elephants and the nature, and all of a sudden it was gone. It looked like all these typical international airports anywhere in the world. So I miss that cultural background, and I think Africans should be much more aware of what they have.
Do you think we are trying too hard to be Europeans, to be like you?
I think it's a question of values.
Yeah.
I think the materialistic values of the Western world took over Africa, and because of that they lose a lot of very strong values they have got themselves, which is very important for a human being, and keep the soul and the mind in balance.
Yeah.
And that is what a lot of people therefore have a lot of problems.
And Wuli, when you started this journey, what kind of challenges did you face from your probably colleagues, neighbors? Didn't they think like you're going mad, or I don't know?
No, I didn't want what people would say, because I know what is in for me in this journey.
Yeah, you have
It's
to
not-
stick to your roots.
Yes.
And get into that culture and say, this is mine, claim it.
Yes.
Alright, I'm going to talk about what you two guys are trying to do right now, which I think is very beautiful. I was sitting with you a few days ago. That's when you mentioned this to me, and I was like, yes, I have to speak to you guys. Yes. So you were telling me that you're trying to infuse the Western culture and the traditional culture, and okay, you can just talk more about it.
The idea what we have is, because so many people are stressed today, and because I did a long journey now to being also a mindful teacher, to teach people or to help people to find back to their inner resources and use different kind of methods. So we put our methods together. She, as a Sangoma, she knows a lot about rituals, about herbals, she knows a lot about these things. And I bring in things like, because today also in your country a lot of people have traumatic experiences. We work a lot with the body, like doing, for instance, also from the Eastern tradition, Qigong or yoga or breathing techniques or body scan, everything which is in the tradition of the MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction, to help people to find their way back, because especially in the corporate world you have a lot of people who are in the so-called doing mode, and they are living in the past.
Autopilot.
Yes, autopilot. So they have to find or they have to learn methods so they can help themselves and not just have to take in pills and medications.
Sleeping tablets.
Exactly. And there are a lot of stuff around, but you have to heal yourself. And we know everybody has an inner healer, and that's not just the African tradition. You find it also in the European tradition. For instance, Albert Schweitzer, one of the first Swiss doctors who built up Lambarene in Africa, he said, you must acknowledge your inner healer, your inner doctor. And that is quite some work. It's not that you can go outside and you have a nice talk and speakers and seminars and then you know your way in life. You actually have to work on yourself. And because she has a lot of knowledge and methods how people can work and develop themselves. So the main topic is about self-leadership, to discover yourself, your inner self. You call it as a calling, yes. We call it to find your vision in life, to lead a life where you are aware of the values you have to live. And that is very much in the tradition also with your family. So when, for instance, it doesn't matter what religion you have, so what we offer is something which has nothing to do, you can be a Buddhist, you can be a Christian, you can be a communist, you can be, it doesn't matter. It's all methods which help yourself to find a way out of this being in this stressful doing mode, and people tell you how you have to lead your life, you know. And there are a lot of ways without taking a lot of pills. And this is what we want to bring together, so have retreats together or workshops, and also coachings. I do a lot of executive coachings, and there's always a problem with the energy. People, they lose their energy in this all-day stuff. Yeah, like you also know, you work from the morning till the evening, it goes automatically, but you do not live in the present, so you lose a lot of value in your life, because your life is not forever. So you know, you go through your life, and then maybe when you are 60 or 70, you ask yourself, what have I done? And therefore you have to build up, you must be aware of your values, you put up a vision, and be aware where your body is, because your body tells you exactly what you need. And this to bring that awareness in the body, we want to work together with our methods.
Okay, Buli, does our religion understand what she's talking about? Can you see this working? Like, how is it going to work from your perspective?
I see it working because, for instance, you tell one of the things that she does, like it's yoga. In my side, it's meditation. It's like coming home, having a spot identify a corner or a spot in the room where I can sit quietly and burn my essence, which is in Magqo, burn my hair in Magqo, and connect and become aware, you know, of the day, you know, what went through the day, whatever, and try to gain a strength for the following day, because we kind of live our work like robots.
Yeah.
Because it's about work, and yet there's a soul, there's a body, there's a mind. So they all need to connect so that you are able to live a balanced life.
Okay. Well, from my understanding, what those two ladies are saying is that it's all about the body, the mind, and the soul. And whatever religion you are from, it's all that matters. It's still the body, mind, and soul. And we have to listen to ourselves, to our inner self. So it doesn't matter whether you are a Sangoma, a Christian, or what or not, it all goes back to humanity. Welcome back to State of Africa with Minili. I'm still sitting here with Jutta and Buli. See, now I'm saying Buli. Yes, I'm getting there. We are buddies now. Okay, Buli. We just figured out that I think it was over a year ago we met at a meditation session. Yeah. So yeah, I do meditation sometimes. Okay, all the time. Alright, so I want to ask you, since you're on this personal journey that you are on, how did you start meditating? Isn't it like a conflict of what you're currently doing?
Not at all.
Okay.
In fact, there's a lot of commonalities because when the first time that I attended a meditation session, we were told that we must sit quietly, and then we're guided through the meditation. So it is exactly the same thing that I'm doing in my journey. I don't call it meditation. I'm saying it's part of my journey. Because in my place, I've got a spot in the room where I will put on my mat. I will sit down, sit comfortable, and then they have Magqo, like to connect with the ancestors, to calm myself down, ask for guidance and all that kind of thing. So for me, it was like I didn't know how it happens and what I'm doing. I didn't know what I'm doing is meditation. But when I was guided through a meditation, I realized that there's a lot of commonalities.
Meditating this whole time without calling it meditation.
Without calling it meditation, correctly so good.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the science behind this religion. And I think, can I call you a scientist?
A
little bit.
I'm more the practical
well, you're
guy.
psychologist.
But I'm doing always stuff which has a research behind.
Yeah,
that's true. That's my academic background. To mention what Buli said about meditation. As you know, I went through a whole process myself again in my life. And I'm offering this mindfulness-based stress reduction, which is an 8-week program for single people, individuals or for groups. And one of the methods we use also is meditation. And many people don't know that for instance, this method has a 45-year background of research, and it's one of the best researched methods. And when you do meditation, people have no idea what happens in your brain, and there are even videos about it on YouTube you can watch, because it changes the chemistry of your brain. For instance, when you are always having a lot of stress, you get in a very negative mode, as we say. And if you don't work on that via doing a lot of body exercises, or I call it now Qigong, yoga, breathing techniques, all that, and meditation, this mode gets stronger and stronger. And but you can reverse it, and that happens through meditation. So it has a huge influence of your chemistry. And today the research is so far because of scanning the brain, for instance, also with Tibetan monks who meditate for 45 years, have amazing results. They have a different brain. So we know that, for instance, the amygdala gets very overwhelmed, and it's a part in our brain when you are stressed all the time. So people become very much out of balance. They're just rushing around the whole day, and in the evening they ask themselves, what did I do? And this has an effect also on becoming very unhappy, very unbalanced in their life. They think they get a lot of help from the outside through magazines, the mass media and so forth, but they are always outside and not inside. So the key is inside in the people, and that is what we want to do together with the methods we use. And it has even a scientific background. So, and I learned it myself, and after 8 to 10 weeks, you notice the change in yourself, in your body, but you have to practice every day. So you have to commit, and then all of a sudden you notice that you are more relaxed, because, for instance, of my personal stress, I had very, very deep muscle pain. It gets into your muscles, and then people take medication instead of, for instance, working with breathing techniques or meditation. And then after some time, your muscles start to relax, the deep muscles inside of you, and people don't know. And also it has a huge effect. You become more focused, you are more balanced, you can listen to people and all these things, and you don't need a lot of food anymore because food or drinking or smoking is a substitute. So even that's very good also for people who are overweight or drinking a lot or depressed especially, or if you have a trauma. So it has a lot of possibilities you can help with, and that is what we want to do.
Wow. Well, she's talking about a lot of, can I call it science? Okay, let's just say the
background.
Yeah, research.
Background. Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Do you relate to any one of those, or does the African traditional religion relate to what she's saying?
The African religion does relate to what she's saying, but for us, I don't think we have terms or concepts for the things that we're doing that are helping the body. Because you meditate, when you're sick, you don't buy tablets. You take a herb, add water, you grate the herb, add water, you drink.
You just do it.
Yeah, it's something that they don't have like, there's no substance of it. It's a natural thing, and to us it becomes a way of living more than calling like, I'm trying to be healthy, I'm trying to use natural stuff. Because whatever you get that is a herb that is not used with anything, it's natural.
Yes.
And it's got a quicker effect in somebody's body, because to think of tablets, they've got gelatin, they've got sweets, they've got so many other things that are mixed with. But I mean, if you take the herb in its purest form,
very organic.
Very organic.
All right. We're reaching the end of our discussion, but I just want to ask you guys, as a young African, young Black African, I didn't grow up with a lot of our traditional religion. We were Christians all the way. And it's only now that I'm trying to understand more of what our culture entails. So would you encourage us young people to look back and embrace our traditional religion?
I would definitely encourage, the young people to embrace the African religion, because now people, because they are professional, they think, if you work, you've got a medical aid. We can, when you're sick, you run to the chemist, you run to the pharmacy, you run to the doctor. But self-medication, using your herb,
using the trees,
using the meat,
things that we have
using
around
the ginger,
with no side effects. Okay, but does it lead us the right way? Because I was talking about consultation, like if I'm facing a problem in my personal life or at work, and then I go for a consultation. I've heard about people that end up fighting within families because a traditional healer has told them that there's someone who's bewitching you, there's someone who's doing this and that.
I'm not a firm believer of those things. Because, as a young, I think one of the things that made me not, when I was young, not to like the thing of the Sangoma was exactly that.
Yeah.
Because you were told that your neighbor is bewitching you.
Yes,
And
I thought
then the Sangoma, it's about telling people those stories.
Yeah.
But there's a more to it.
Yeah.
The issue of healing being part of being a Sangoma is not emphasized, or it's not spoken about like the way it's supposed to be.
Yes.
Because it's more healing your body, your soul, your mind.
That is what we have.
Unfortunately, we do not have concepts or big concepts, with our healing.
It's not written down.
No, it's not written down in a book.
Yeah.
It's not something that is written down in a book.
What we do.
You've got yours written down everywhere, but for us it's handed over from generation to generation.
Yes.
Do you think we should change that maybe and try and explain things the new way? Like have the traditional religious Bible where there's this is how you heal stomach pains, this is what you use for headaches, this is what you use for cuts and all that.
You know, the issue for us people that are in Nigeria is that I'll make an example with African potato. African potato is part of our food, something that we eat, but we didn't
Is it
know.
like the sweet potato?
Yeah, it's like a sweet potato.
Okay.
We didn't have the benefits of what is entailed in the African potato until some of our people work. I know, for example, of a woman that was in Samoma, and then he worked with a westernized person, and this person was having a cancer, and then this woman said, no, man, if you use an African potato, like you just add water and whatever, your cancer cells or whatever, maybe when you go for a test, you find that you are in remission. So what becomes a challenge that sometimes we're skeptical to share the knowledge.
Yes.
Someone that has got a scientific background and has got a qualification, she will say, she's got a patent right. She will make sure that she's got a patent right over the African potato. I'm not a qualified doctor. I'm not scientific, but I know what African potato can do to a person. You understand? So the person that is more scientific and that is more educated will take my help that I'm using to help people, but I don't have patent right. They can develop like tablets, develop it in the format of a tablet, which I do not have that expertise to do that. But in its purest form, I know it works and it does work. So I think that's a bit of a challenge. I think that is something that the scientific people need to look at, like how can we combine the knowledge that we have moving forward that would benefit all of us.
We can all live a healthy life if we work together. Alright, this is all for today. We have to wrap this up. I wish we had 2 hours to discuss this. Alright, thank you very much, Dr. Jutta Lenz, for coming. And Bulelwa Magqo, I said it right, yes. Thank you very much for coming to sit with us and sharing your knowledge and what you are doing. This is all for now. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is State of Africa with Minnie Lee. We'll see you on the next episode.